Hi guys and welcome. These are your handover videos for your Bailey Phoenix 642. These are a basic walkthrough video on how to set up and operate the caravan as if you were coming to site. So starting off first, you have your black hitch head here with silver lever. Now you have to have that silver lever down, well up in this case, and then once you've wound it down onto the tow bar, it will snap down in that position, push up that red button and expose a green ring. Underneath you have your tow bar. Now legality states that it has to be put around an eye point, if not wrapped around the tow bar. Then just here you have a gas drop handbrake. Now make sure with these that you do ultimately click it all the way back. Some people will hear that first initial click and think that it's on. Make sure you just pull it all the way back just to be sure. And it is also 13-pin electric, so make sure you bring yourself an adapter if necessary. 2 points either side and 2 points at the back, you have inserts for your legs. The caravan itself comes with a leg winder, or you can get yourself a 19mm drill bit and a power drill just to make it that bit quicker. Do not attempt to jack up or level the caravan using your legs, they're simply used for stabilisation. First level using your jockey wheel, then put down all four corner steadies. Using our test equipment today here, so I have a mains lead, and that plugs into this part that is just behind the front door on here. Motor mover will be gone over on collection. On the opposing side, starting off first, we have an Aquarol full of clean drinking water and your water pump just here. Water pump itself, insert and remove just like so, and you can press down that cap to lock it into place. You have this plastic cap to go over the top of the Aquarol to ensure that no nastiness gets inside, and then you have your strainer at the bottom. It's crucial that the strainer sits at the bottom of the barrel to draw through the maximum potential of water, and so it doesn't also lead to coughs and splutters. Then just behind the gas locker you have your flue. The flue itself is for getting clean air in and out of your boiler when operating on gas. Unlike the old school ones, you don't have to do anything or take it apart, just ensure that it's nice and clean. Then here I have my test gas bottle with an in-date gas hose. Black gas hoses run for 5 years, orange run for 10. That's slotted onto this point here, and then it connects onto this regulator. Hand tighten that as much as you can, and then just nip it up using a spanner. I'd always recommend propane over butane just because it has a better performance in winter. Just behind the axle we have these 2 points here, and that is where your wastewater is going to come out of. You'll need some 28.5mm waste pipe to then feed into a waste master that you can empty out at the appropriate point on site. And lastly we have your toilet function. So first up we have your cassette toilet. To remove this, press up on the orange handle and pull out towards you, and always ensure as well that you have the toilet cassette switch in the correct position. This handle also extends out and up, so it can be used similar to a carry-on suitcase. Twist this head to the side, open up that compartment. You want to tilt, and at the same time as tilting, continually pressing your vent button. My recommendation is to then open up this compartment, feed in some fresh water, give it a bit of a shake, and again tilt and vent. Then on this cap here you have measurements of both imperial and metric, and that's for your blue chemical. Blue chemical goes onto there, slot that back to the side and push it in so that orange handle sits behind those white teeth, as then it can't be removed without pressing up that orange handle. Then just up above we have your flush tank. The flush tank itself can hold around 12 litres of water. However, I wouldn't recommend putting in any more than 10, as you don't want to overfill the compartment. You can also add a bit of pink chemical, which works as a bleach without being corrosive. Now you don't want to travel with either of these too full, so just to the side you have this little bung to open up to drain off the remaining water from the flush tank. The caravan itself will be fully drained off before you leave with it. Underneath your right hand side bed, if you were looking at it facing the door, we have your black e-move box here, which is essentially your brain box for your motor mover. We have all your trips and fuses, all your trips in the upright position and all your fuses in the correct position. They do also tell you what they represent. you have your motor mover ignition point just there. Then you have where your battery sits. Now, if you do purchase a battery for a Bailey, it has to be a specific one that is called a low box battery. As it is situated in the floor, it is slightly shorter. Then underneath your right hand side seat, if you're looking at it the other way, facing towards here, we have your boiler just here and your drain valve. Drain valve itself will be left in the upright position when you come to collect the caravan. November to March, have it up permanently unless you're actively using the caravan, and anytime you come aside, make sure you give it a drain off. You will collect the caravan with that in the upright position. Just here we have your main control panel. So this is for the operation of a few parts. So you have your main on and off switch here, internal lights, awning lights here, so off and on. Go outside, you can see that operating. And lastly, we have your pump button just here. So when you press in the pump button, when the tank is full, there'll be no green light. However, if I just drain it off a little bit, you can see the green light comes on. That is representing that the tank itself, the boiler, is being filled. You then also have this button here, which will tell you the battery voltage, which is currently 13.5 volts coming in. Now, with regards to the pump, as I have it on, I'm going to let it settle for about 2 to 3 minutes to allow it to be drawn through. Whilst that happens, I will show you this. This is your Truma control panel. This is for your heating and hot water. So you have a dial, it's also a button and a back button here. So first up, we have the motorhome with the thermometer in it. They use this panel as well for motorhomes, so that's why it's just as it is. This is your home screen, which it will go to if you don't interact. So first up, press in, and whatever I set it to, it will get to that temperature within an hour. So let's say I set it to 30 degrees, you can see on the top a flame comes on. That is showing that the heating is now operating and working. Next to it, we have the water temperature. So either have it off, eco, and you can also see it pops up on the top. Eco will get the water temperature to around about 40 degrees. Hot will get it to 60 degrees. And boost will prioritize the heating of the actual water over the heating of the caravan for around about 15 minutes or so, and then it will drop it back down to eco. If I don't want to select, press the back button. Next, energy source. So I'm currently set on gas. I can have a mixture of gas and 1 kilowatt, and you can see the gas canister then has a lightning bolt. 2 kilowatts has 2 lightning bolts. Electric with 1 kilowatt shows 1 singular lightning bolt. Electric with 2 shows 2 lightning bolts. Then next to it, I have fan speed. So I first ignore the phone that's going off. I either have eco, high, or boost. So eco is a nice steady stream. High is a bit more vigorous. A boost sets it to the high setting for about 15 minutes and then we'll cut it out again. Ideal if you want it to just be nice and warm. However, if I go back to the start and take the heating completely off, so let's say it's a nice sunny day, don't want the heating, go back over to the fan, it's either off or vent. Now what vent does, it circulates the air across the caravan, so if you would have all your windows open, you could get a nice bit of fresh air come in. Okay, now we're on to the bottom row. So the bottom row, we have this one here. This is for essentially a timer. So you first select when you'd like the heating and hot water to come on and then come off. So you input your start time, so it's 3 o'clock, end time 6 o'clock, and then it will set itself like that. However, whenever you reset this panel, it will show midnight. So it's currently not 17 minutes past midnight, you just select it to the correct time. It is a 24-hour clock. However, you can change that in your additional settings, which is this spanner icon here. Now, I'm not going to go through these, as we have set it to what we believe is the most user-friendly to use. If you'd like to have a look inside your book pack to see what they represent, please do so. Now, naturally, as you've seen, that screen will go to the home screen, and when it's not interacted with in a couple of minutes, essentially that screen will go green so it doesn't disturb you whilst you sleep. However, if you don't want it on in the slightest, press and hold in, and it will turn it completely off. That no longer means any heating or hot water is going to happen. As it's been about 2 minutes now, you can open up your tap, and what you're looking for is a nice steady continuous stream like this. If there's any coughs that splutters, go outside and ensure that the strainer is set at the bottom of the barrel, the Aquarel's full, you're plugged in correctly, your drain valve is in the correct position, and you don't have any other taps on, because having multiple taps will weaken the stream as well. But what you want to do whenever you come to plug it in is wait about 30 seconds, just let it draw through. Especially if you haven't used the Caravan in a fair bit of time. You can try that on cold, you can try that on hot as well. But as you can see, nice steady continuous stream. Shut it off just there. Quick summary: on, internal lights, external light, water pump, battery. And just here we have your hob grill and oven. So all of this is operative off gas. All you have to do is press in the dial, twist it to the side, and press in your igniter button just here. Now it may be a case that these will light up and then cut itself off. Just restart it and it will just get itself going. It's just the gas making its way through its system. This is what it looks like when they're all lit. As you can see, all burners nice and lit. And then it's the same concept for the grill. So as you can see there, grill nice and lit. Now sometimes one side will light up and then the other side will afterwards. And then lastly, the oven, you can see all nice and lit there as well. Only other real thing to note, you can travel with the gas hose on, but make sure the bottle is off, and make sure you put this glass sheet down before you take off, but don't put it down until all of those burners are cold to the touch. And just here we have your toilet operation. So lift up that just there, press in the button, and you can hear that motor whir. That is what would push around any water in the system. To release the waste, you press away on this handle at the bottom and pull it back towards you, as otherwise you're not able to remove the cassette. When the cassette is full, there'll be a red light telling you to go and empty it. Then just here we have your fridge operation. So to turn it on, press and hold on this button. It will flash up and go to its most recent memory, which in this case was gas on full capacity. I wouldn't recommend putting gas on until you've checked all of these components, just to make it sure it's all good. Then you can change the mode. So press in once, goes over to mains, press in again, goes to auto, and auto chooses the best source to use. Now when I press it again, it's going to go over to that battery symbol. That is representative of your 13-pin electric. So when I press it, it sort of trips itself out there. So I'll try and just show you again. Begins to flash up and beep at you. So flick it over and just make sure the source is correct. Then you have the amount of power coming to the van. Oh, I've clicked again there on accident. They are fairly close together, so just make sure that you're all nice and sorted. 5 being the most powerful, so it's going to chill it the quickest. 1 being the least powerful, so it's going to take the longest, but take the least amount of power. Even on full capacity, it will take around 4 hours to fully chill. You've got 2 child locks on it, and when the fridge is on, lights are on. Turn this off, press and hold in, turns itself off, no more lights.